Hi everyone, welcome back. We still have on the operating table here this Philips tape recorder. And since the last video I continued a bit with disassembling. Last video we cleaned quite a lot and then we decided, well, everything here on top needs to come off because there's still dirt and gunk underneath all these mechanisms. So I continued with disassembling everything here. It doesn't seem to be too complicated. It's really built up in layers. These sliders over here, so once you take one off, you can take off the next one, etc, etc. So that's going quite well. I have only lost one C-clip so far. There was the one that had this big slider in place here in the middle that just pinged off into nowhere, it seems. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. What the heck? Now, this is actually not scripted at all. So I just looked down and it was just laying here right in front of my nose. What the heck? Okay. Let me put that over here. Right. I was just wanted to say not really a big of a problem because I have replacement C-clips, but okay. The problem solved. Anyway, okay, I have to now think again a bit what I wanted to say because this is quite funny. Yeah, so I took this big part off here, so that is this thing. And as you see here on the bottom, it's completely still covered with belt residue. So that's why it doesn't operate smoothly anymore. See, so I have to clean this off. So it's here like this, right? So if you remove that, pay attention. See, there are two very tiny ball bearings over here. I don't know if my camera is focusing, but see, there is one over there and one over there. Normally they shouldn't fall out because they are greased quite well and they stick in the grease, but pay attention that you don't lose them anyway. Same on the bottom side, because on the bottom this is held in place with this piece of metal. And there are also two ball bearings underneath. So see, this all has to be cleaned off. All this grease needs to come off because it's, yeah, quite sticky. I don't think it will ever operate smoothly with this old grease. So, yeah, see here as well, there is still gunk on here. Now these can also come off. See these shafts or these sliders. And then I can clean underneath. So that's my next task, cleaning this up further, cleaning these mechanisms, removing this part, cleaning underneath. I think then the only thing on the top here we still need to clean is the tape head mechanism, but I might leave that for later. And then we'll need to do the bottom part as well of the tape recorder, but the underside, I don't think it's as much work as the top side. There is much less mechanisms on the underside. There is also much less dirt on the underside and much less belt goo. But let's start doing this now. So everything is disassembled here except from the entire tape mechanism. I will do that later. And I've cleaned everything. Also, all the parts have been cleaned. I haven't filmed that because, well, I didn't want you to have to watch minutes and minutes of just me cleaning these things. So all the parts have been... Oh, I forgot one. There is here one that I still need to do, I see. This one. Okay, that I still do. That I'll still have to do. For the rest, all of them have been cleaned. Now it's time to look at the bottom side. I mean, I'm not sure yet how I'm gonna put this on its head to easily clean the bottom. Could be that I'm not really able to film what I'm doing there. If I need to put it on its side, then it will be very difficult to film. Yeah. Anyway, it's time to start working on the bottom side. Right. So I think this is the only way that I can film this. Because there is no way I can put it up his head, so it has to stand on its side while I'm working on it, which is a bit awkward, but okay. The big issue here is the flywheel that needs to come out, both for cleaning, because see, there is, I don't know if you can see it, but there is still belt residue here on the flywheel, and also for cleaning the capstan, which is attached to this flywheel, and also for lubricating it. So this needs to come off, and that's easier said than done, because you see this, it's held in place with this bracket, and then here you have these two levers. They are held with a C-clip to the bracket. These are the levers which come from the buttons. So this, for example, is the record button. Well, this one comes from the record button, and it activates here the record play switch on the PCB. So a very common thing to do on a tape recorder or on a cassette deck is to have a switch on the PCB, which switches between playback or record. And then obviously that needs to be activated depending on which button you push, and that's what these two levers here are doing. This is getting quite a bit of an intensive operation. First thing I'm gonna do here is try to remove this piece of wire. Now the issue is that there is a lot of belt goo, I guess, here sitting in this bracket, and I need to be a bit careful where I put my fingers, because I'm getting it all over my fingers. So this one now can go out of the way. Maybe I also remove that guy, because I guess the bracket will have to come off anyway. Okay. What I can maybe do is use it to tie it to here temporarily, so then it's out of the way. That's not a bad idea. Okay. That's already something. Now these two guys here I have to start paying attention with belt goo. See, there is already some belt goo on these wires. Now this is really not a matter of just simply swapping the belts. Yeah, I'm getting it all over my fingers already. Just trying to clean up here as much as I can. But yeah, see, it's everywhere. Maybe I should also wear gloves for this part, but let me see. These wires here, they are also wrapped around this part of the bracket. Or that's a different bracket. Yeah. Maybe I can just loosen that. Let's see what happens if I simply loosen this bracket over here. Okay. Yeah, where is the screw? It's over there. That, I don't think that helped a lot, but maybe I can now here twist this thing around and see. Yeah, see, that's all belt goo on this side. Let me clean that up on this side as well. Now, I think we cannot avoid removing these two levers here. It's two switches in this case. Okay. The record one, that's the long one, is on the top, and the I don't know what this is. Is this... Ah, this is the play button. That's the bottom one. Let's remove this C-clip and try not to ping it across the room. And it's gone. Ah no, it's hanging on my screwdriver. Okay. Now these should come off. Well, here there are also some springs that are holding these in place. Not sure if that is on the video. Okay, that spring is loose. And the second one... Ah, fuck. Ah, ouch. Just cut my finger. But okay. So that's the bracket for the record switch. I'm gonna put that aside and can also give it a clean because it's also filthy. That's the one for the play switch. Same thing. Okay, here we have a wavy washer or a spring washer. I'm gonna take that off so I don't lose it. See? And what's next? Now, next, I think we have access here to this bracket. Now, let's take that off. I need to be very careful with that because I expect it to be completely full of goo on the top side. You see, this cleaning up this thing is a matter of just taking it completely apart and just making sure that you know where it goes back together. And then it's like a Lego puzzle for adults. Well, not that Lego isn't for adults, but you get what I want to say. Let's take this bracket out. Does it come out? Yes. See. So we have a lot of old grease here, and there is belt residue. I don't quite get why there is so much grease on this. This is grease, right? Yes. Why is there so much grease? There is nothing... I don't get that, because there is nothing rubbing against that. See, because the... that's a bit weird. I think they just smeared a bit of grease because there needs to be grease on that point. That's the point where the spindle from the capstan is sitting. But why there is everywhere grease, I don't think it's needed. Okay, let me also put that aside. Also in the to clean list. And now, well, how does this work? Ah, okay, the entire thing comes out. Well, not sure if I can just take it out like that. There is still... Okay, I also need to remove that. There is a washer here on top. That's... You see that a lot with... and it's also very dirty. On the capstan, it's to hold it in place, but it's also to keep the oil from moving on top of the capstan. So if you oil the capstan, that it doesn't get on your tape. I'm also going to put it with the rest of the components. Now I should be able to take it out, but these cables are still in the way, I guess. Yeah, see, now it comes out, but I'm first going to, well, see, there is also belt goo on here. I'm first going to clean things up here a bit before I take out the flywheel, and then I come back to you. Well, I think I'm finally done cleaning because, wow, this really took a long time, a lot of work, a lot of Q-tips. I think I consumed about more than 150, maybe 200 Q-tips. So, yeah, that was definitely much more work than I expected. The flywheel also came out, and it's clean. All the parts are clean. Everything is ready to put back together. Finally, I also cleaned here the area of the tape head, but I didn't take it off because I didn't want to knock it completely out of alignment. So I just, with some Q-tips, I cleaned around everywhere and in between everything. So that should be okay. The only thing I still need to do here is the motor. Here, see, I replaced the rubber grommets. I see these were the old ones that came out. They are completely, well, broken and gone, completely dried up. So I started looking online for some replacement grommets, and I found these on AliExpress, and they are a perfect match. They are the exact thickness, the exact width, the exact size of the hole. They are really perfect for this job. Now I don't remember the exact measurements, I can put it on the screen, but basically a grommet like this has 4 measurements. So you have the outer diameter, you have the thickness, then you have the diameter of the hole that it needs to fit in, and then the inner diameter of the inside hole. These are 6 millimeters. The other measurements I don't really remember exactly. I can put them on the screen just in case you need the same things here. Now for the motor, it is also fixed here with this. I think it should have been the same grommets, but they are also completely, well, deteriorated into such an extent that the motor is completely wobbly and loose here. See, like that. So that's not good. So I'm just gonna take the motor out and also clean it. Maybe if there is still some cleaning left to do. I cleaned most of it, I think. I'm just gonna take the motor out and replace these grommets and put it back. I'm not gonna film that because I think that's straightforward. Unless something pops up, then I will inform you. And then I'm gonna start assembling everything together and putting some grease where needed. But hey, I'm glad that I can finally start reassembling because I was getting really tired of all this work of cleaning. I decided, like I said in the previous video, to pick a... see, I'm still picking up some belt glue here on my fingers from somewhere, don't know where. Yeah, it gets everywhere. But in the previous video, I explained that I wanted to start working on a reel-to-reel machine with a simple one. And granted, this is a simple machine, but the amount of work that it took to clean it up, I should have picked another one. I should have picked one which didn't have the belts completely melted. So yeah, anyway, we are so far ahead now in the process. I'm just going to continue, and I'm going to go ahead with replacing the grommets here on the motor and then starting reassembly. See, I can have belt goo. Anyway, let me just continue the work that needs to be done here. Right, I think I'm done with the reassembly. If you hear some background noises, it's because I have the window open. It's quite warm here this evening, so we have had horrible weather over the past couple of weeks, and now suddenly the sun comes out and it's just too hot. Yeah, okay, Belgium. So I am done, I think, with the reassembly, and I greased and lubricated everything that needs to be lubricated and greased. I took the counter here from the donor machine, and that seems to be working fine. And I put the belts on, so that means I think I'm done with the mechanical part of the work. Now this really took a long time. It took much longer than I originally thought it was going to take. Remember, I said I'm going to start with a more simple machine just to learn a bit on how to work on reel-to-reel machines, but this one, yeah, maybe it's simple, the mechanics are maybe simple, but it was a lot of work taking everything apart. I should have chosen a different machine which was maybe a bit more complicated, but didn't have all these melted belts. So yeah, anyway, we are done. So I greased up everything which needs to be greased, and I lubricated everything which needs to be lubricated. So my general rule is very simple. When it rotates, it gets lubricated with oil, and when it slides, it gets greased. That's basically it. So, and now everything is working quite well and quite snappy. So see, this is the record. Yeah. Then the rewind, fast forward, play, and that's the pause. So yeah, that's not doing a lot right now, but see, it's and it's very snappy, nicely springing back into its original position. Very nice. So maybe how did this work? So this big belt here, that's the main drive belt. As you might see, yeah, so here you have the motor, and the belt here is attached, well, to this spindle, or it's around the spindle of the motor. So see, if that belt is driven, then it drives all these wheels over here. This is the main one, because that wheel on the bottom side of that, on the bottom side of the chassis, there is also a pulley here on this shaft, and that drives the capstan, or well, that drives the flywheel with the capstan attached. So as you can see here, perhaps the capstan is also rotating, and that's this wheel that is driving the capstan. Then on top here you have a second pulley which is driving the take-up reel. So that's this belt. Then you have a belt, so that's already 3 belts, and then the 4th belt is for the counter, and that's connected to the supply wheel. And the belt, I'm not going to show you the bottom side, but the belt from the supply wheel to the counter is twisted, like in an 8 shape, otherwise the counter turns in the wrong direction. These 2 wheels, they are for the fast forward and for the rewind. So for example, if I put this one on here, see, so normally these 2, they should go on here, right? Let me see if I can quickly do so. Okay, they are not on fully, but you get the idea. If I do rewind, see, then this wheel drives the, well, the supply wheel, but in backwards direction to do the rewind. Fast forward, same thing. This wheel is gonna drive the take-up wheel, or the take-up reel, to fast forward the tape. So that's how that's working. The only thing I now still have to do is I need to clean these guys, and I'm gonna replace this one because that has a cracked shaft. I'm gonna replace this one with one from the donor machine, and I'm also still need to have a look at this piece here. That's not original. That's yeah, a fix. Someone tried to fix something that broke off probably, so I'm also going to take that part from the donor machine. But I think you will see that result in the next video, because I'm going to take this machine now into the workshop so that I can now finally clean up my living room table, because I made a big mess here. So I'm going to take the machine into the workshop, and then finally we'll be able to start working on the electronics. And yeah, then hopefully in the next video we can get some sound out of it. Yeah, so I hope you were enjoying this. I'm not sure if I'm enjoying it as much as I thought I was gonna be, but that's strictly because it was just so much work to clean everything up, take everything apart and put everything back together. But hey, now the fun part comes, and that's the electronics. So I'll hope that you will catch me again in the next video, where we hopefully can make this thing play. And I'd like to thank you for watching for this one, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. So take care. Bye bye.